Welcome to English with Daisy and Harry, the podcast where we help you speak English more naturally, more confidently, and more fluently in real life. I'm your host, Daisy, and I'm so excited you're here today.
And I'm Harry. Hello, everybody. It's great to be here. We have a really good episode today, I think.
We really do. And Harry, before we jump into today's topic, can I ask you something? Have you ever felt nervous talking to someone you like? Like your brain just goes completely blank?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Actually, I remember in university, there was this girl I wanted to talk to in the library. And I walked up to her and I said absolutely nothing. I just stood there like a statue.
A statue? Oh no! What happened?
She looked at me, I looked at her, and then I said, "Nice books." That's it, nice books. And then I walked away very fast.
Nice books. Harry, that is both the most embarrassing and most relatable thing I've ever heard. Honestly, I think most of us have had a moment like that, where we want to say something clever or friendly, but our brain just shuts down.
Completely shuts down. It's like the Wi-Fi disconnects at the worst moment.
That is such a good way to put it. Okay, so today's topic is all about that exact feeling and how to fix it. We're talking about how to talk to the opposite gender naturally and confidently.
Yes, and this episode is going to be really useful, not just for your English, but for your actual everyday life.
Exactly, because here's the thing. Learning English isn't just about grammar rules and vocabulary lists, right? It's about being able to communicate in real situations. And one of the most common, most important, and honestly, most scary situations, talking to someone you're interested in, or even just trying to make a new friend.
Yes, and I think many people, especially English learners, feel double the nerves. Because not only are they nervous about the social situation, they're also nervous about making mistakes in English.
That's such a good point. So today, we're going to help you with both of those things. By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly how to start a conversation, how to keep it going, how to sound confident, and you'll also learn some really useful everyday English phrases along the way.
And we're going to keep it very simple. No complicated grammar, no difficult vocabulary. Just natural, friendly English that you can actually use.
So let me ask you a few questions, and be honest with yourself as you listen. Have you ever been at a college, a workplace, a coffee shop, and you saw someone you wanted to talk to, but you had no idea how to start?
Or you started a conversation and then ran out of things to say after like 30 seconds?
Yes, that awkward silence where both of you are just looking at your phones.
Or what about texting? Have you ever typed and deleted the same message like 15 times because you didn't know how to sound natural?
Oh, I've been there. And what about understanding body language? Knowing when someone is interested in talking to you or when they just want to be left alone.
These are all real situations. And today, we're going to walk through all of them together. So stay with us. This is going to be a great one.
All right, let's get into it. Okay, Harry, let's start with the very beginning. You meet someone new. Maybe it's a classmate on the first day of college. Maybe it's someone at a party. Maybe it's a coworker at a new job. How do you even start the conversation?
I think the first thing is, don't try to say something amazing or impressive.
just say something simple and friendly. Like, one of my favorite phrases is, "Hi, how's your day going?"
Oh, I love that phrase. It's so easy, but it works every single time. Hi, how's your day going? It's friendly, it's open, and it invites the other person to talk.
Exactly. And a common mistake I see, and I used to do this too, is people say, "How is your day?" instead of "How's your day going?" It sounds a little strange, you know? The natural version is "How's your day going?" or "How are you doing?"
Good correction. And actually, Harry, I remember when you first joined our team, you once said to a colleague, "How do you do?"
Oh no, yes, I thought it was very polite English, but everyone looked at me a bit confused.
It's not wrong. How do you do is very formal, very old-fashioned. It's something you might hear in a British period drama. In everyday conversation, just say, "How are you?" or "How's it going?" Much more natural.
Lesson learned. Okay, so we start with a simple greeting. And then what? What do we say after that?
After the greeting, the key is to introduce yourself if the person doesn't know you. A great phrase here is, "Nice to meet you. I'm Daisy. I just started here." Or, "I'm in your English class. I'm a friend of Marco's." Something like that. You give your name and a small piece of context.
That's smart, because it gives the other person something to respond to.
Exactly. And it avoids that awkward silence where both of you just smile and nod.
The nodding. Yes, very familiar with the nodding.
Okay, so now we're talking. How do we keep the conversation going? This is where a lot of people struggle.
I think the biggest trick is asking questions. Open questions, not yes or no questions. For example, instead of asking, "Do you like movies?" which gets you a yes or no, ask, "What kind of movies do you enjoy?"
Perfect. And a really useful phrase for this is, "What do you do for fun?" It's casual, it's friendly, and it opens up so many different answers.
Yes, and from there, you can follow up. Let's say they say, "Oh, I like hiking." You can say, "Really? That's interesting. Where do you usually go?"
And that leads us to another great phrase, "Tell me more." It's only 3 words, but it's incredibly powerful. It shows the other person that you're listening and you genuinely want to know more.
I like that one. It's so simple, but it feels very warm.
Now, Harry, let's talk about giving compliments, because a lot of people, especially men, I think, are nervous about giving compliments. They don't want to sound weird or creepy.
Yes, that's true. And I think the key is to keep compliments simple and genuine. Don't over-compliment. Just one small, honest compliment.
Right, and make sure it's appropriate. For example, if you're meeting someone at work or college, you could say something like, "You have a great sense of humor," after they've made a joke, or "You seem really friendly," which is lovely because it's a compliment about their personality, not their looks.
That phrase, "You seem really friendly," I love that because it's very non-threatening. It doesn't make the other person uncomfortable.
Exactly. And it's a great way to signal that you enjoy talking to them.
Okay, so let's talk about a real situation. Let's say you're in a coffee shop. You're sitting near someone, maybe studying or working. You want to start talking. What do you do?
Oh, this is a great scenario. Okay, so first, look for a natural opening. Maybe they're reading a book you recognize. Maybe their laptop has a sticker of something you like. You can say, "Hey, sorry to bother you. Can I ask you something?"
Ooh, I like that. Can I ask you something? It's polite because you're asking for permission first.
Yes, and almost everyone will say yes. And then you ask your question. Maybe about the book, maybe about the place. Is the coffee here good? It's my first time. Something like that.
That's a clever way to start. You're asking for help or an opinion, and people love giving opinions.
They really do. And from there, it just flows naturally. And by the way, a phrase you can use when someone says something you find interesting is, "That's interesting." Or go a step further. "That's a good question," when they ask you something thoughtful.
I want to share something a bit embarrassing, actually. When I was learning English, I used to say interesting all the time, even when something was boring. My English teacher told me, "Harry, your face says bored, but your mouth says interesting."
Oh, that's so funny. But actually, that's a great point. Your body language has to match your words. If you say, "That's interesting," while looking at your phone, it doesn't work.
Exactly.
Which brings us to body language. Can we talk about that?
Yes, absolutely. Body language is so important. In fact, some studies say that more than half of communication is nonverbal. It's your face, your posture, your eyes.
So what should we do? And what should we avoid?
Okay, let's start with eye contact. You want to maintain eye contact. Not stare, not creepily, but just enough to show you're listening and engaged. Looking away all the time makes you seem disinterested or nervous.
And smiling. A natural smile, not a forced one, makes such a big difference.
Huge difference. And posture. Stand or sit up straight. Don't cross your arms because it looks closed off. Face the person you're talking to. These small things tell the other person, "I'm here, I'm listening, I'm interested."
What about speaking speed? Because I know a lot of English learners, when they get nervous, they speak very, very fast.
Yes, and it makes everything harder to understand. Speaking slowly and clearly is actually a sign of confidence. When you rush, you sound nervous. When you take your time, you sound calm and in control.
I used to be so guilty of this. I would speak so fast, and then people would say, "Sorry, what?" And I would get even more nervous and speak even faster.
It becomes a cycle. The trick is, if you catch yourself rushing, just take a breath. Pause. It's totally okay to pause in a conversation. Silence isn't always awkward.
That's a really important point. A small pause shows you're thinking, not panicking. Okay, let's talk about one of the most uncomfortable moments in conversation. Awkward silence. What do you do when the conversation just stops?
Oh, the dreaded silence. I still find this uncomfortable sometimes.
Most people do. But the good news is, you can break a silence very naturally. You can laugh about it. Okay, we both ran out of things to say at the same time. I think that means we need coffee. Or you can transition to a new topic with something like, "So, anyway, what do you usually do on weekends?"
Oh, that's smooth. Just redirect with a question.
Yes, and remember, a short silence doesn't mean the conversation is dying. Sometimes people just need a moment to think. Being comfortable with small silences is actually a sign of confidence.
Now, let's talk about something that I think is really important. Being a good listener. because I think sometimes people focus so much on what to say that they forget to actually listen.
That is such a good point, Harry. Active listening is one of the most attractive qualities in a person. And it's not complicated. It just means when someone is talking, you actually pay attention. You don't interrupt. You don't think about your next sentence while they're speaking.
And you ask follow-up questions. That's a big one. Like if someone says, I went to Vietnam last month, don't just say, oh, cool. Say, really? What was your favorite part?
Yes, and use phrases like, I completely agree, when you genuinely agree with something they said. Or, that makes sense. Or even simply, yeah, I get that. These small verbal signals show you're engaged.
What about when you're texting? Because honestly, texting is its own language sometimes.
It really is. Okay, texting tips. First, don't overthink it. I know people who spend 20 minutes writing a 2-sentence message.
I was one of those people. I'd write, delete, write, delete, write.
Okay, so be natural. Write how you speak, but slightly more polished. A simple message like, hey, I had a great time talking today. Would you like to grab a coffee sometime? Is perfect. It's clear, it's warm, it's not too intense.
Wait. I want to highlight that phrase. Would you like to grab a coffee? That's such a great phrase. It's casual enough to not sound too serious, but it's a clear invitation. Exactly. And grab a coffee is a very natural expression. Not take a coffee or drink a coffee together. Grab a coffee. That's the natural way.
Good point. And what about ending conversations? Because I think a lot of people don't know how to politely end a conversation without it feeling rude.
Oh, yes. Ending gracefully is an art. You don't want to just disappear mid-conversation. A nice way to end is, it was really nice talking to you. And then maybe add, let's stay in touch. Or even, I hope we can catch up again soon.
I love let's stay in touch. It's friendly, it leaves the door open, and it's not pushy.
And always end with something warm. Have a great day. Or take care. Or hope to see you again. These small phrases make the ending feel warm instead of abrupt.
Now, can we talk about something a bit sensitive? What if the other person isn't interested in talking? How do you handle rejection? Or even just someone who seems busy or uninterested?
Yes, this is so important. Honestly, the most confident thing you can do is accept it gracefully. If someone gives short answers, looks away often, or seems distracted, that's a signal to wrap up the conversation.
And don't take it personally. It doesn't mean something is wrong with you. Maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe they're just shy. Maybe they have 100 things on their mind.
Exactly. Confidence isn't about making everyone like you. It's about being comfortable with yourself and being respectful of others' boundaries. I think respecting boundaries is something that doesn't get talked about enough. Like, if someone doesn't respond to your text, don't send 5 more messages. Please don't do that. One message is enough. If they don't reply, that's an answer in itself. Move on gracefully. That is the confident response.
Okay, I want to go back to something. Building genuine confidence. Because I think a lot of people think confidence means being loud or bold or having perfect English. But that's not true at all, is it?
Not at all.
Genuine confidence is much quieter than that. It's about being comfortable being yourself. It's about caring about the other person, not just trying to impress them. It's about listening as much as you talk.
And it comes from practice, right? Not from being born with it.
Absolutely. I wasn't always confident. Honestly, my first few months speaking English with native speakers, I was terrified. I would plan everything I wanted to say in my head first, and by the time I was ready to speak, the conversation had moved on.
Oh, I know that feeling so well.
But the more I did it, the more conversations I had, even imperfect ones, the better I got. Because you learn what works. You learn what makes people laugh, what makes them open up, what questions they enjoy answering.
And you also learn to be okay with making mistakes. Like, I've said so many weird things in English conversations, and most of the time, people don't care. They appreciate that you're trying.
That's the truth. And actually, when you make a mistake and laugh about it, that's often the best icebreaker. It makes you seem human and real.
We talked about this before. I once meant to say, I'm a big fan of Italian food, and I accidentally said, I'm a big fan of Italian people to someone I just met who was Italian.
Oh no! What did they say?
She laughed, and it actually broke the ice completely. We ended up talking for an hour.
Oh, see? Mistakes can sometimes be your best friend. The key is to stay relaxed and not catastrophize every error.
Okay, let's quickly review some of the phrases we've used today, because I want to make sure listeners are catching all of them.
Great idea. So we've covered, "Hi, how's your day going?" Your friendly opener. "Nice to meet you." Your classic introduction. "Can I ask you something?" Politely starting a conversation. "What do you do for fun?" Open-ended question to keep things going. "That's interesting." Showing engagement. "Really? Tell me more." Inviting them to share. "I completely agree." Connecting over shared opinions. "You have a great sense of humor." A personality-based compliment. "You seem really friendly." A warm, non-threatening compliment. "I was wondering," a polite way to introduce a question or request. "That's a good question." A lovely way to acknowledge a thoughtful moment. "I enjoy talking with you." A sincere, kind thing to say. "Would you like to grab a coffee?" Casual but clear invitation. "Let's stay in touch." Warm way to continue the connection. "It was nice talking to you." Graceful conversation ending. "Have a great day." Friendly sign-off. "Hope to see you again." Keeping the connection warm. That is such a great list. And they all feel natural because we used them in real conversation, not just as a vocabulary list.
That's exactly the point. Language sticks when you learn it in context, in real situations, not from memorizing lists.
I also want to add one more tip. Don't try to be someone else. A lot of people think they need a special, confident personality to talk to someone they like. But the truth is, authenticity is the most attractive quality.
Yes. Be genuinely curious about the other person. Ask real questions. Share real things about yourself. People can feel when you're being genuine versus when you're performing. And even if your English isn't perfect, your warmth and your kindness will come through. That's what people remember. Beautiful. Okay, I think we've covered so much today. Should we move into our recap?
Let's do it.
All right, let's quickly go over what we've learned today. This is your mini review so you can remember the key points.
First, starting conversations. Keep it simple. Use a friendly greeting like, "Hi, how's your day going?" And then introduce yourself with a bit of context. Don't try to be impressive. Just be warm and approachable.
Second, keeping conversations going. Ask open-ended questions. Questions that can't be answered with just yes or no. Use phrases like, "What do you do for fun?" and "Tell me more." Follow up on what the other person says. That shows you're listening.
Third, becoming a better listener. Don't just wait for your turn to speak. Actually listen. Ask follow-up questions. Use small verbal signals like, "Really?" or "That makes sense," to show you're engaged. Fourth, sounding confident. Speak slowly and clearly. Maintain eye contact. Smile naturally. Pause when you need to think. Silence is okay. And remember, confidence is quiet. It's not about being loud or perfect. Fifth, handling awkward moments. If there's a silence, redirect with a new question. If you make a mistake, laugh and move on. If someone isn't interested, accept it gracefully. Not every conversation will be a great one, and that's perfectly fine. Sixth, respecting boundaries. Pay attention to signals. If someone seems disinterested, wrap it up politely. Don't push. One message is enough. Respect goes a long way. And finally, building real confidence. It comes from practice, not perfection. Every conversation you have, good or bad, makes you better. So get out there and talk to people. The key phrases to remember. "Hi, how's your day going?" "Can I ask you something?" "What do you do for fun?" "Tell me more." "That's interesting." "Would you like to grab a coffee?" "Let's stay in touch." "It was nice talking to you." Keep those in your back pocket. They will help you in so many situations. Okay, now it's time for our favorite part of the show, shadowing practice. This is your repeat after me section. Listen carefully, then repeat each sentence out loud in the pause. Speaking out loud is so important for building confidence. Ready?
Let's go. Listen, then speak in the pause. "Hi, how are you?"
Nice to meet you. Can I ask you something?
"What do you enjoy doing?" "That's really interesting."
Tell me more.
"I'd love to hear about that."
What do you do for fun?
"I can speak confidently."
I don't need to be perfect.
I enjoy meeting new people.
I stay calm during conversations.
"I ask good questions and I listen well."
Every conversation makes me better.
"I am enough, exactly as I am."
It was really nice talking to you.
Let's stay in touch.
Would you like to grab a coffee sometime?
Have a wonderful day.
Hope to see you again soon.
You seem really friendly.
I really enjoyed our conversation.
I was wondering, could I ask you something?
Excellent work! If you repeated those out loud, even a little quietly, you just practiced real English in a real situation. That is a big deal. Give yourself credit.
Seriously, the more you practice out loud,
the more natural it becomes. Your mouth needs to get used to the sounds, the rhythm, the flow. Shadowing is one of the best tools for that.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Harry, honestly, this was such a fun one to record.
It really was. I hope everyone listening feels a bit more ready to go out there and start conversations.
That's the goal. And I want to leave you with one final thought. Confidence isn't something you wake up with one day. It's something you build, one conversation at a time. Every time you say hello to someone new, every time you try a new phrase, every time you stumble over a word and keep going anyway, you are becoming more confident.
And remember, nobody expects you to be perfect. Not in English, not in social situations. The people who are easiest to talk to aren't the ones with perfect grammar. They're the ones who are warm, curious, and genuinely interested in the person in front of them.
That's it exactly. Communication is about connection, not performance. So the next time you see someone you want to talk to, take a breath, smile, and just say something simple. Hi, how's your day going? That's all it takes to start.
And please, please keep practicing. Speak English every single day, even if it's just to yourself, or your pet, or your mirror. It all counts.
Talk to your mirror. I love that. Okay, and before we go, if you enjoyed today's episode, please like and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us reach more English learners around the world.
And leave us a comment. Tell us what is the most nervous you've ever felt before a conversation. We love reading your stories.
And share this episode with a friend who wants to improve their English, or a friend who needs a little push to be more confident talking to people.
You've got this. We believe in you.
Until next time, keep speaking, keep learning, and keep being your wonderful, genuine self. I'm Daisy.
I'm Harry.